Here we go then. I'm using OBS Studio, which I'm just showing you the screen of here, to record what I'm doing on my laptop. We'll head to the edit suite. But before I get into that, I'll just talk a bit about the kit. I'm using a Lenovo ThinkPad T480. It has an Intel Core i7 8th gen processor and a fair bit of RAM as well. I can't remember how much. I have a feeling it's 8 gig, it might be 16. But it's indicative of the sheer grunt you need to edit videos, and it's not a cheap laptop. When it came to expenses for the New Zealand trip, this was one of the largest outlays, to be honest. That and probably fuel. I had to spend a lot of money to get a laptop that can handle editing high definition files, and that's kind of what people want these days. I don't do 4K because that would be even worse. But yeah, my previous laptop wouldn't handle this. I actually prefer to use a desktop. Desktop has more grunt to the pound, and therefore you get better performance, and it doesn't cost as much. But obviously, they're big, bulky things. I wasn't going to take a desktop to the other side of the world. So here we are in Movavi Video Editor. This is version 15. I've got this installed on the desktop and this laptop, and I find it very, very suitable for my needs because I do fairly simple videos. If you want to do something flash with special effects and all that, this probably isn't going to be the one for you. Adobe Premiere Pro, I think it is more what you need if you want to appear twice in your own videos, that sort of thing. For my simple needs, this is absolutely ideal. So I'll take you through the process, if you like. The first step is to add some files. You can see the last video I edited was the GSA seatbelts. So we'll select all of these files. There's the previous working file, all those files, and then all I do is hit open, and it pulls them straight in. You'll notice it pulls them straight into the timeline, which is this is where you actually do the physical editing down here. Don't have to add the files to the media player and then to the actual editor bit down here. It's all done in one. And really, my editing is kept simple because I try to self-edit when I'm recording. So I try to only record what I'm going to use. And I might say, well, look, we've got a bit of a blank there before the video starts. So let's just chop that away a bit and give that a trim. There we go. I can click that, delete it, and we've got rid of that. The video now starts more promptly, and here I go. In this video, I hope this is a set of rear seatbelts for my 1986 Citroen GSA. And then I might say, well, we can pause it at that point and we'll trim it there as well. And as I try and step out of my own frame. And I can add transitions quite easily here. That's under this tab. I can speed it up if I felt the need, change the volume because sometimes I'm using a mic, sometimes I'm not, or just different things going on. So I can try and alter the levels. But a fade is very simple. So I'll fade out that clip, I'll fade in that clip, and now we get a nice transition as we go from one to the other. Now, before I don't do that on every clip change. It tends to be, for me, a setting scene or changing time. So if there's a fade, it means I'm cutting to a later time or just a different scene. And like I say, just try and keep it all fairly short. So if we reduce this down, we can see the total length of this video file is about 21 minutes. I'm quite interested to know how long the final video ended up being. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can't imagine I chopped much more than, say, 5 minutes out of this. There will have been some waffle. Sometimes I'll record a mistake and I'm not near the camera or I can't be bothered to hit record, so I'll just stop, reset, and start recording again. So I'll have to trim those errors out. Sometimes there's a bit of swearing. There's quite a bit on this one because things went so badly wrong as I was editing it, so I had to trim those out. But there you can see all the different timeline clips. I'm not really one for doing B-roll footage, so it's not that often you will see other items dropped in, but I'll give you an example of how I might do that. If we go to add, and we go to the pictures, I could say maybe grab this cover shot, and I could then drag it in to go here, So I could be talking about something and I want that to appear.
Other little cars
so
are.
go down, it comes in.
But until then, I should say thank you very much for
Change the
watching.
size of that so it doesn't quite fill the frame. Just grab a corner, bring it down. So I could have that up there and refer to it, stuff like that. So the Paul Cowland interview
A few
talked about
other little cars are.
there's a lot of dropping photos
But
in.
until then, I should say thank you very much for watching my
That was the question.
ham-fisted attempts at
That's just how that works. It's quite simple, really. Like I say, I do most of my editing in the camera, so it makes my life easier when it comes to the edit. I generally don't want to spend longer than an hour in the edit suite per video. And to be honest, a video of this sort of length, I'd probably be looking at 30 to 40 minutes to get that chopped down and get it sent out. Once it's finished, obviously I'd hit save and then go to export. And I export an FLV file because that's a streaming format. And yeah, I would call it something or other, set the quality to highest. And bash, I would then hit start and off it would go. Probably render a video in 5 to 10 minutes, something like that. And then maybe another 10 to 15 minutes for a big file to upload it. It's pretty decent broadband here, thanks to the Welsh government. Far better than Australia. I had such problems in Australia. But the fact the internet is so fast here and my editing time is so minimal means I can probably wake up in the morning, edit a video, get it online, and I've got it uploaded mid-morning, ready for the 12 o'clock go live. So it really can happen that quickly. Generally, at the moment, I'm trying to edit a couple of videos ahead. So I've got a few videos loaded, ready to go at any one time. It just makes life easier yet again. But that's a bit about the actual mechanics of how I make a video. Obviously, there's different audio settings as well, and there's various things going on that I'm not going to use. Most of them are just completely irrelevant. Make yourself sound like a robot. That's not going to do any good. Can drop text in if I want to. I've got my own title set up, so I would do that. Drag the text down, and then I can type in the text box and say something exciting like Hubnut. And then I can move where that appears so you can actually read it, and then that text will stay
do a bit
on
of
the
a
screen.
swap after 2CV for a bit.
It's all good
The
times,
City
really. Nice
Rover
and simple, really
remains.
quick. I can do the editing I need to do very, very quickly. There is a voiceover mode if I feel the need for that, so I can record footage over the top. Obviously, I've used that a lot in the lockdown um, picture shows, the slideshows, and pull all the pictures in, and then I just talk over the top of them and belch quietly while I'm digesting my breakfast recording this. I do apologise for that, but hey, this is Hubnut after all. But that's just a bit of insight into the actual mechanics of how I make videos happen. And the next stage is to upload it to YouTube and then await your comments. And I spend an awful lot of time editing the comments, which we'll get to next. Right, this is a fairly standard state of affairs for me. I've got my emails open, Facebook, Twitter, tend to keep an eye on. That's the quiz I'm running tonight at uquiz.com. I'm just going to close the video editor because I can hear the laptop fans running and they're having rather a hard time of it. But this is where I spend most of my time. This is me looking at the many, many comments that come into the channel, and it is a lot of them. And I really like the interaction. I like to be able to actually interact with you. It's one of the things I love most about this channel is whether it's meeting you in person or on in the comments section. It's nice to have that interaction. I really do enjoy it. So Brian here is building a 1/16th scale model of one. Well done, sir. So I will love his comment. It doesn't mean I love the comment, but it's a nice way for me to acknowledge that I've seen the comment, I think. So I use that quite a bit. I will add comments where I can. But yeah, this is typical of the sort of comments I get in, and can't like them all. I can't keep up with all the comments quite a lot of the time. You can see this is just in the past few hours how many comments have come in, and that's hours where the interesting. I love sweat sound of Trekker. I'm guessing something lost in translation there, but I get what he's aiming at. Um, and you can also see which videos get comments. I mean, that's a video from back summer 2019. That was one I recorded in Tasmania. This is the most recent video, the MGA at the time of recording. And yeah, you don't always get nice comments, but I can just ignore those. Really offensive comments I will just delete because I'm just not very tolerant of trolls. So yeah, those sort of comments just get knocked out. Some get picked up by the spam filters. There aren't any in the spam today, and that's all right. That's good times. But yeah, that's how it goes. Now I've got a list of my videos down here. So giving you some sneaky insights here, because at the time of recording, the seatbelts video, there it is, hasn't gone live yet. I'll probably do a separate cover. I tend to use LibreOffice, which is a PowerPoint knockoff, LibreOffice Impress to do my covers where I feel the cover is needed. And I think the cover worked quite nicely on the Chrysler, definitely worked on the MGA. This is a tinkering one. It's not so much about grabbing the attention of everyone else. My tinkering videos tend to please my subscribers more than anyone, so I might put a cover on it, I might not. We'll see what I do with that. And that's a lockdown slideshow. That's coming on Friday this week. And the video I'm recording at the moment, I have no idea when it's going to appear. Probably the week after, so I'm not actually revealing anything. But you can see I get here the total number of views. So I can see the Great Wall Wingle has actually done quite well for views. And this is what I like. This is the likes versus dislikes. So this is, people giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can see the percentage tends to be really, really good. It's one of the nicest things. In some ways, my channel makes me feel better about the world because I get so many likes versus dislikes. You can see, I mean, very rarely drops down. The lockdown drive around Cardigan, that was a controversial one. Some people thought I was taking the Michael with that one. So you see, 96.4%. But look at that, 99% on the Leyland P76. 936 comments. I do believe I lost control of that one slightly. Um, the lockdown interviews haven't done so well for views, and again, not so well in the likes versus dislikes. I thought people might be prepared to just sit down and listen to those, but it seems not. So I'm probably not going to do any more of those. But yeah, it's not a bad old back catalogue, I don't think. Look at that, 175,000 views now on the free-wheeled Citroen. And again, 97.7% on likes versus dislikes. And something else I find quite unusual is the fact the base unit battle part 2 has many more views than part 1. And yeah, I guess that's because there's more driving involved in that one. But yeah, it's really interesting to see what does well, what doesn't. And I've got all the analytics so I can see where people are watching and where they're commenting. So there's an awful lot I can go into on here, which is really, really useful. And yeah, there's some very, very handy tools. But there you go. That's a bit behind the scenes on how I make the Hubnut stuff work. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell. Oh, how do I do a pachu from here? Ah, psh.